you've seen some mistakes as well as sort of what works and what breaks. So could you share with us perhaps the biggest misconception that people have about large-scale project deliveries?
Yeah, thanks, Warren. I think it's probably what I had, which is thinking that the bigger the organization, the more structured, well-refined and well-oiled machine it is. And when I stepped foot inside these organizations, I realized just it's the complete opposite. Like you touched on silos, like almost the leadership team of each team almost drives the culture and the structure and the regiment of that team. And the more teams you have, the different types of structures you may have of delivery. So some teams, yes, they might be well structured, well orientated, processes are in place, but other teams, they're all over the place and deliverables are not getting met. There's risks all over the place within delivery. And it's all dependent, in my experience, it's always top down, right? The culture comes from the top. So if the person at the top is not very well structured or organized, it will filter through into the team. But if the person at the top is regimented, is a change management professional, they know the difference between theory and execution, and not just tracking sort of fake metrics to please stakeholders, but actually executing and knowing which actions are actually delivering benefits to the organization. But that to me is make or break. So looking out, it was like for me, the banking industry was this flashy beacon, which in sort of 2006, 2007 was paying really well. And then I thought, wow, the processes inside these organizations must be really, really well oiled, well refined. But when I went into them, like that was the biggest eye opener. Was like, wow. But then luckily for me, like that's where I sort of filled those gaps, because I think that I've been described as I probably am quite structured and regimented, and again, that's what fitness modeling and training sort of 12 times a week has provided, that regimented discipline. And so it's like, for me, it's like, well, I want the organization to be messy and unstructured, because then that's where the role comes in for me, right? Like that's where I'm bringing my value, and that is my value proposition to that organization, right? And hopefully that's why the job role is live, because that's the personality that they're looking to fill. So I think for me it was that was the misconception.